Sometimes I feel like, compared to a lot of other people's experiences, I'm not being trans right. Not in the way that I've never felt like a man, but more so in the way that my experiences and feelings are never really the same compared to a lot of trans people. Of course, not everyone's experiences are the same, and I shouldn't be judging myself off of what other people have gone through, but I've looked through hundreds of different videos and TikToks about people's experience finding out they're trans, and almost every single one, they say that they felt off as a kid and that something was wrong.
The fourth sign that you might be trans is that you just have this innate feeling that you're different from everyone else.
Many people figure out they're trans in adolescence.
Trans men usually say that they never felt like a girl and that they hated being a girl.
Apparently, I would just, flip a table and throw a tantrum, and someone would give me a girl toy.
Basically, I was always referred to as a tomboy. I had my hair short. I did a lot of stereotypically, boy things.
When you were a kid, when it came to girly stuff, where you were I don't like wearing dresses or playing with Barbies, or...
I feel like most kids, especially young girls, do have that. I did have that moment, before I was 10 years old, but I don't know if that was a trans thing or just a societal pressure thing.
I was obviously I was a tomboy when I was younger. I would be doing all girly but masculine stuff, and I also just really hated dresses. I started hating wearing tights because they made me super mad. Why do girls have to be naked under their dress? I don't want to be so bare like that. Dude, yeah, no, I just hated wearing dresses, and I would throw fits on Roblox. I would pretend to be a boy, and then I would get girls.
For sure, yeah, I definitely had all that stuff. There were a lot of things that were too boyish for me to like, and my mom was always yeah, you're a tomboy, and I was that doesn't feel right.
I think everyone talks about having a not like other girls phase, and of course that ends up being I'm not another girl, I'm a guy for many people.
But I don't feel that way because I loved being a girl. Every time people bring up girlhood, I have this specific memory I bring up into my head every single time. I'm no older than about 7, and I'm standing outside in the rain. This was the point in my life where my family lived in a trailer park. So I'm standing outside our trailer, and I have this pretty dress on. It was a white dress with a bunch of photos of realistic flowers on it. It had a layer of tulle underneath that made the dress puff out, and whenever I spun in it, it would fly up and out, and it made me feel like a princess. My hair was in 2 little blonde curly pigtails that were quickly being soaked because it was raining outside. My stepdad, he's not my stepdad anymore, was videoing me, and I'm twirling around in this dress and stomping in puddles and watching the muddy rainwater soak my dress and my hair and my skin, and I was so happy. I loved wearing dresses as a kid. I loved princess parties and wearing those crappy high heels that flung off your foot if you ever tried to walk in them. I loved wearing the color pink and being called princess by my stepdad. I loved being pretty and beautiful and playing with dolls and playing pretend with my sister. I loved girlhood. Sometimes I hate that I'm trans because being a girl was so much fun. I wish I didn't want to cry whenever I saw my chest in the mirror. I wish I didn't always pull my shirt forward to make sure that my boobs were hidden. I wish I could wear certain clothes in public and not be so scared I was going to be mistaken for a girl. Yes, men can wear makeup and dresses and be feminine. Men are allowed to do that. But I miss the feeling of being a girl and doing these things. It's such a hard thing to describe, to try and figure out what it means, because I'm definitely a trans man. I've tried being gender fluid, and being called a girl or having people use she her for me makes me want to vomit. But this feeling has almost made me feel isolated from other trans people and their experiences. It's such a small thing that one wouldn't think it would have such an impact, but it makes me feel like I'm doing this whole being trans thing wrong. I still feel connected to other trans people, but in terms of experience, it makes me feel like I'm connected with a rusty chain rather than a fresh new one. I don't think I'm the only person to feel this way either, not even with the specific example, but when it comes to being trans, there's such a pressure to fit in with everyone else or to fit this specific narrative. I want to be a boy, so that means I can never wear makeup or feminine clothes. I want to be a girl, so I can only wear feminine clothes. We applaud men for wearing makeup and putting on dresses, but the second a trans man does it, he's faking. We applaud women for looking masculine and having muscles and having leg hair, but if a trans woman does it, they are just men playing dress up. Pardon my language, but I think it's bullshit and incredibly sexist. And these ideas don't even just come from transphobic people or cisgender people. These come from people in the community itself as well. I've had positive experiences in the community. I've been able to connect with other people on the highs and lows of the trans experience. But sometimes I don't want to interact with my own community because I hate the feeling of being judged. I came out as trans at 15, my freshman year of high school. This June, I will have been out as trans for 4 years now. Ups, I've had downs, I saw acceptance and rejection. I've gone through several different names: Robin, Ethan, Atticus, and now finally Tobias. I've met several trans people throughout my experience, and even more when coming to this school. And unfortunately, I can confidently say that I have met at least over a handful of trans people who have made me feel isolated from my own community. People who I was hoping I would immediately be able to relate to, and instead I left the interaction feeling sick to my stomach. There's this gross feeling that comes with this judgment, because for a community who claims to be so accepting, some people are only accepting when it fits their standards, and I hate that. I don't hate the trans community. I don't hate being a part of the trans community. But I really wish I could love it.